Pakita naman po yung slide po.
Okay, sige. Start. So, our topic for this morning is cholesterol metabolism. So, we are now in the metabolism of lipids. Diba, when I last saw you and lectured on you, we are on glucose metabolism, the HMP and pentose phosphate pathways. Now, here we are in the lipids. We will lecture on cholesterol metabolism, and I think later in the afternoon, we will report also fatty acid beta oscillation ang i-discuss nyo. So, here, my reference is the Harper Biochemistry 31st edition, chapter 26. So, here are the objectives of the lecture. So, at the end of the lecture, the student should be able to discuss cholesterol metabolism in terms of the following. First is the structure of cholesterol, its forms, function, and the sources. Next is the biosynthesis, how is cholesterol synthesized in the body, and it's also degradation. So how is it used? So for the degradation, it will lead to synthesis of other metabolic products like bile acids, and we will also discuss, although this is will be also discussed in your lecture on bile acid metabolism. We will just give a brief overview for the formation of gallstones or the cholelithiasis formation, since it is related in bile acid metabolism, and also discuss the enterohepatic circulation of bile. And then in the last part, the other metabolic pathways for cholesterol, meaning now that it is now synthesized, what will be its fate, or what can be synthesized from cholesterol, because cholesterol is also a precursor for other products in the body for metabolism, like vitamin D, bile acids, as I have said earlier, and steroid hormones. Okay, so as with all my lectures and all of your lectures in medical school, any lecture is just a supplement for learning. You should still read your book because this is the only time that you can read it. Higher years, mga lecture notes na lang. Okay. Now, let's start with the cholesterol. So cholesterol, here is the structure of cholesterol. It is a membered ring structure of hydrocarbons with a hydroxyl group on the carbon number 3. Okay? All of the carbons here are numbered because they are important in metabolism, especially in hydroxylation reactions that we will see later. And also the rings are labeled A, B, C, and D. So this is the structure, and it has forms. The cholesterol in the plasma has three kinds of forms. Plasma is in the blood. So first is the free and unesterified cholesterol, which is the one that you saw, yung ito, yung may hydroxyl group or OH group sa carbon number 3. Unesterified yan kasi wala pa nakakabit na hydrocarbon dun sa, or fatty acids dun sa hydroxyl group. So free lang siya, yan yun. Next is it can be found with combination with lipoproteins. Ito yung sinasabi nila na pag nag-combine siya sa lipoproteins, yung sinasabi na LDL, HDL, yung good cholesterol, which is HDL, and bad cholesterol, which is LDL. So, yun yung nakikita sa mga laboratories nyo. Kasi dyan sa blood naman talaga kinukuha yung sa cholesterol, di ba? So, pag nag-combine sila sa lipoproteins, doon nangyayari yung sinasabi na good and bad cholesterol sa blood. And then third is the cholesterol ester. So, if the structure here in cholesterol, merong fatty acids or hydrocarbon na mag-connect, magiging, imbes na HO yan, yung H mapapalitan ng fatty acid chain na magko-connect dun sa cholesterol. Yun yung cholesterol ester or yung tawag natin acyl esters, acyl cholesterol esters. Okay? Those are the three forms of cholesterol in the blood. And the function of cholesterol, madami ha. So this is the main function. One of it is, like we've discussed in biological membranes, it is one of the component of the biological cell membranes, aside from the phospholipids. So the function of cholesterol is for the liquidity or fluidity of the cell membranes. Yung kung mas maging maluwag at magpapas ang different substances from the cell membranes. Next is it is a precursor for steroid hormones, a precursor for bile salts, and a precursor for vitamin D. So this is the products that will be formed when cholesterol is already formed. So dyan siya mapupunta. Or yan yung other metabolic pathway na sinasabi kanina sa outline. Now, what are the sources of cholesterol? First is diet, especially in lipid rich foods, yung mga sinasabi nga natin, maalat, mataba, mamantika, prito, yan, kaya pinapaiwas, di ba, ng mga doctors nyo sa inyo. But also, there is also a de novo synthesis of cholesterol. So, it will be discussed here. So, kahit hindi ka nag-diet, bakit tumataas pa rin kahit nag-diet ka, sinasabi ng mga pasyente, kahit hindi hindi naman kumakain na ng mga bawal, bakit nagpo-produce pa rin ng cholesterol? Kasi meron tayong de novo synthesis of cholesterol. So you can see later. So that's for the first part of the objective. We've already discussed the structure, the form, function, and the sources of cholesterol. Now we go to the actual biochemistry, which is the synthesis. So cholesterol biosynthesis can be found majority in the liver. Kaya nga, di ba, dyan madalas nagkakaroon ng fatty liver. Kasi dyan nagpo-form madalas yung cholesterols. But other sites or other organs can also produce cholesterol, like the intestines, steroid-producing organs, adrenal cortex, testes, ovaries, and placenta during pregnancy. And in the cell, the location is just like glycolysis, it's just in the cytoplasm. And its main substrate, or the first substrate of cholesterol synthesis, is acetyl coenzyme A. So now you already know what acetyl coenzyme A is, right? From your glucose metabolism, yan yung product, diba, ng glycolysis. And also, yan yung substrate that will start the Krebs cycle or the TCA. Okay? So, yan yung pinaka-pivotal substrate in most of metabolism, kaya napaka-importante ng acetyl coenzyme A. So, saan magagaling yung acetyl coenzyme A in our cholesterol synthesis? Ayun, sige, ito muna. Other sources, aside from glycolysis, are the fatty acid. Acetyl coenzyme will be used in fatty acid synthesis, ketone body synthesis. So, and also, yung sinabi nga natin, yung topic mismo, cholesterol synthesis. So, most of the lipid pathways will start with the enzyme A. And actually, hindi lang talaga lipid pathway, also the carbohydrate pathway and the amino acid pathway, which you will learn, I think next year na yung amino acids. Now, here are the sources of acetyl coenzyme A. So, you've already discussed this. First is the glycolysis. So, glucose will be broken down to pyruvate, and then pyruvate will be converted to acetyl coenzyme A via pyruvate dehydrogenase. And that acetyl coenzyme A can go to the Krebs cycle or the TCA. Other sources which is beta oxidation of fatty acid, which you will discuss later in the afternoon or after my lecture. We discuss today, Dr. Reportoso, beta oxidation. So you will yield acetyl coenzyme A because in fatty acid synthesis, fatty acids, there are a series of hydrocarbons that will be cleaved in order to produce acetyl-CoA, which is a two-carbon membered substrate. Also in ketone bodies, like the acetoacetate, beta hydroxybutyrate, the oxidation of ketone bodies will also produce acetyl coenzyme A kasi component ng ketone bodies is almost 3 molecules of acetyl coenzyme A combined. And here, ito nga yung sinasabi ko, yung amino acid metabolism. So, ito, hindi nyo pa ito na di-discuss kasi next year pa yan or the next exams pa yan. But also, suffice to know that amino acids can also produce acetyl-CoA, especially their carbon skeletons. Okay? Now, we have 4 stages in cholesterol biosynthesis, which will start from acetyl-CoA up to production of cholesterol, which is a 27 carbon molecule that will eventually produce again steroid hormones, vitamin D, and bile. So the first stage is the formation of mevalonate, which is a 6 carbon molecule. Next is the formation of active isopentyl pyrophosphate or isoprenes. And then the third stage is the formation of squalene, the 30-membered carbon structure, and then the last is the actual cholesterol. So during this synthesis, there are substrates or metabolites that can also deviate and form other important structures. Like for example, in the third stage, in farnesyl pyrophosphate, the 15 carbon membered structure can be a precursor for production of heme and ubiquinone. Diba? Heme is we can find in red blood cells, and ubiquinone we can find in for the electron transport chain. So we go deeper in stage 1 for the synthesis of mevalonate. So as you can see in the picture on the left, it will start with acetyl coenzyme A, 2 carbons. Okay. And then it will now combine with another acetyl coenzyme A via enzyme acetoacetyl coenzyme thiolase or beta ketothiolase. Okay, to form acetoacetyl coenzyme A, which is 4 carbon structure na. And that 4 carbon acetoacetyl coenzyme A will now again combine with another molecule of acetyl coenzyme A to form HMG coenzyme A or technically speaking beta hydroxy beta methyl glutaryl coenzyme A. So, ang shortcut na lang dyan is HMG coenzyme A, which is tatlong acetyl coenzyme A. The enzyme here is HMG-CoA synthase, which is important or for you to remember, especially pag nandun na kayo sa ketone acid or ketone body formation. So, the rate limiting enzyme there is HMG coenzyme A synthase. But now we're gonna focus on cholesterol metabolism. The major enzyme that we will focus on is the next one, which is HMG coenzyme A reductase. So from HMG co-A, it will now form mevalonate via reduction. So via redox reaction. So HMG coenzyme A ang nag-reduce to mevalonate because, as I have said earlier in metabolism reaction, if there is one component that is oxidized, the other will be reduced. So the one that is oxidized here is the NADPH, which comes from HMP, last lecture natin, di ba? So NADPH, nawalan ng H or nawalan ng proton, naging NAD plus, that means NADPH was oxidized. And that means HMG coenzyme A was reduced. Siya yung opposite. So, to form mevalonate. Now, the important enzyme here is the HMG coenzyme reductase because this is the rate-limiting enzyme of cholesterol synthesis. It will be the one that will be stimulated by insulin, T3, and glucocorticoids. But it will be inhibited by cholesterol, bile acids, mevalonate, glucagon, and statins. So you can see that there will be a negative feedback pag na-produce na yung mismong bile acids, mevalonate, and cholesterol. And also, ito yung target ng mga drugs like the statin drugs like simvastatin, atorvastatin, rosuvastatin. Yan, yung mga narinig yung mga gamot na iniinom ng mga parents ni lola nyo na maintenance nila. So yan yun. Kaya nila ini-inhibit yung HMG coenzyme reductase to inhibit the synthesis of cholesterol. Pag na-inhibit yun, mas less yung cholesterol na magpo-produce. So mas less yung mag-increase yung cholesterol nila sa lungs. So here, for the regulation of cholesterol synthesis, as I have already mentioned this, feedback inhibition or suppression, it can also be proteolytic degradation of the enzyme, hormonal regulation or covalent modification, sterol-mediated regulation of transcription because cholesterol is lipid soluble, so para ma-regulate siya, makapasok doon yung sa until the nucleus of the cell. Kasi makapass through sa lipid bilayer. And therapeutic inhibition by the drugs like we have already discussed the statins. So bigyan na tayo ng specifics para mas intindihan nyo. For the regulation of cholesterol via feedback inhibition or suppression, here is just a basic diagram of from acetyl-CoA to form HMG coenzyme A to mevalonic acid or mevalonate. So the enzyme, di ba, sa HMG coenzyme A to mevalonate is HMG CoA reductase. Now, if there is an increased amount of production of the final product, which is cholesterol or bile acids or mevalonate, it will now tell the enzyme to stop converting HMG CoA to mevalonic acid via feedback inhibition. Next is the proteolytic degradation. So the enzyme of HMG CoA reductase will be degraded via proteolysis and degradation when there is masyadong mataas na yung cholesterol. Okay? So rising levels of cholesterol and bile salts in cells that synthesize these molecules cause a change in the oligomerization state of the membrane domain of HMG CoA. So, mas magiging susceptible to proteolysis and eventually decrease the cholesterol synthesis. So, iba-iba lang way para mapababa yung cholesterol. And here, hormonal regulation or covalent modification. So, since you've already discussed hormone metabolism and carbohydrate metabolism. So alam niyo na to, di ba? Glucagon and insulin. Ang insulin is the hormone that will dephosphorylate the enzymes, especially the active enzymes of the cells of the body. Dephosphorylate via, ano, di ba sila? Phosphatase. So, may mga na-active na enzymes kapag phosphorylated form, may mga inactive na enzymes pag dephosphorylated form. So, ito yung mga importante nyo kailangan ma-distinguish nun. Insulin is the hormone for, is an anabolic hormone or insulin is in the fed state. Diba? So, fed state siya. So, ang dapat enzymes na active niya is yung mga uh, anabolic pathways, right? So, yung pag-produce ng glycogen, so glycogen synthesis, so yung enzymes doon, ibig sabihin kailangan maging dephosphorylated para maging active. Opposite naman doon yung glucagon. So, glucagon, it will now phosphorylate in order to active or deactivate the certain enzymes. So, meaning glycogen phosphorylase or the enzyme that will degrade glycogen. So, it is in the fasted state, predominant hormone is glucagon. Active yung glycogen phosphorylase kapag phosphorylated form. Okay, so ganun mangyayari, makikita nyo sa mga exam minsan eh. Kung itong enzymes na to is phosphorylated, active or inactive pa siya. So kailangan nyo malaman kung nasa ano siya, nasa fed or fasting state, and also kung nasa anong hormone yung predominant, insulin or glucagon. So basta insulin fed state, glucagon fasting state. So ano dapat gawin ng katawan? So kung kailangan mag-form ng glycogen yung katawan, kailangan may nasa phosphorylate state. So, ibig sabihin, yung isa, glycogen synthase, inactive siya sa phosphorylated state kapag nasa glucagon na level kasi hindi siya maglalabas or magde-degrade ng glycogen. So, parang ganun din sa lahat ng parts ng metabolism, even in lipid metabolism. You will see here cholesterol, or here in the picture, HMG-CoA reductase is active when it is not phosphorylated. Okay, meaning, and it is inactive when it is phosphorylated. Meaning, in the fed state, which is insulin majority ng hormone, so fed state siya, kailangan niyang mag-produce ng cholesterol para ma-remove yung excess na acetyl-coenzyme A. Okay? So, yun. Pag unphosphorylated ang HMG-CoA reductase, active siya. But if it's in the phosphorylated, inactive siya kasi mas predominant ang glucagon during that phosphate, if it's phosphorylated. So, opposite naman yan, yung HMG-CoA synthase for ketone bodies. Because ketone body will just form at a fasting state, not on a fed state. Okay? So, yun yung importante ha, kasi kaya ko lang in-emphasize here because not all hormones are active when it's phosphorylated or inactive if it's not phosphorylated. It depends on kung anong ginagawang metabolism nun. Is it an anabolic pathway or catabolic pathway? Okay, like kaya nga example yung glycolysis, di ba? Glycolysis is the breakdown of sugar. Pero bakit sa insulin siya activated? Kasi kailangan mag-produce ng acetyl-CoA for that pyruvate or acetyl-coenzyme A to be converted to glycogen. Okay, so considered pa rin siya na anabolic reaction yung glycolysis even though it is breakdown na parang catabolic. Okay? So, hindi ko alam kung naiintindihan nyo o nag-gets yung ibig ko sabihin na hindi lahat ng phosphorylated or unphosphorylated is specific, active na agad or inactive. It depends on the pathway of that rate-limiting enzyme. Anyway, we proceed to the next one is the steroid-mediated regulation of transcription. So, a decrease in cholesterol with increased transcription of HMG coenzyme A reductase by gene and then it will increase cholesterol synthesis. So, opposite naman. Pag sobrang naman, mag-decrease yung transcription. So, yan yung target ng because cholesterol is a steroid and lipophilic. So, makakapass through siya sa lipid bilayer. So, makakaabot siya sa nucleus to be regulated. So, hindi niya kailangan ng secondary messenger. Now is therapeutic inhibition of drugs. So, this is what I already told you earlier. So, the colored part is the enzyme, HMG-CoA reductase, and it has the active site. Yung parang open niya na yun. But this is lovastatin, or one of the drugs, the statin drugs, that can bind to the active site of HMG-CoA reductase in order to inhibit the synthesis of cholesterol. So, eto na po. So, nababump off yung HMG CoA substrate. Okay? So, hindi makapasok yung HMG CoA substrate kasi nga, nandun na yung mga statins. Hindi siya makabind sa active site. So, we now go on to stage number 2 of conversion to activated isoprenes. So, from mevalonate, we will now produce isopentyl pyrophosphate, a 5-carbon structure. Wait lang ha. Sige, mag-isip lang kayo ng tanong niyo. Just have I just have a consult with this week. Okay, share ko lang ulit slides. Do you have any questions? Wala naman. Naintindihan naman. Okay, can we proceed? Can you hear me? Hindi ko na-on yung mic ko.
Yes po, Doc.
Okay. So, stage 2 na tayo. So, from mevalonate here, it will now be phosphorylated by the enzyme kinase. Di ba pag kinase, nagkakaroon ng phosphate group with the ATP. So, mevalonate to become 5-phosphomevalonate. And that 5-phosphomevalonate will be phosphorylated again by a phosphomevalonate kinase. So, another kinase, magiging dalawa na yung phosphate niya. As you can see here in the 5-pyrophosphate mevalonate. So, dalawa na. Yung una yung pink, next is the blue one in carbon number 5. And then it will become phosphorylated again, but now on the carbon number 3. So, tatlo na yung phosphates niya. To become 3-phospho 5 ang tawag dito? Pyrophosphate. And eventually, it will become, it will be decarboxylated. So, decarboxylated meaning nag-remove yung CO2. in carbon number 1. So natanggal yon, carbon number 1, to form the isopentyl pyrophosphate. So which is an isoprene unit. Yan yung isang unit, 5 carbon. And that isopentyl pyrophosphate or IPP can be isomerized to DPP or dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate. So nag-iba lang yung it's an isomerization reaction, nag-iba lang yung double bonds niya. Napunta lang doon sa carbon number 2. Okay? So the enzyme here is isopentyl pyrophosphate isomerase or prenyl transferase. So yan, IPP and DPP ang magko-combine to form the next, to form squalene later on in stage 3. So here, so mevalonate, puro phosphorylation reaction, mevalonate kinase, phosphomevalonate kinase, and then pyrophosphate mevalonate decarboxylase to form the IPP and DPP. So these are activated isoprenes, yung mga yan. And that, we now go to stage 3, the formation of squalene. From DPP and IPP, will now combine with each other with dimethyl allyl transferase, prenyl transferase to form geranyl pyrophosphate. So 10 carbon. And that geranyl pyrophosphate will combine with another IPP to form a 15 carbon farnesyl pyrophosphate. And then the two molecules of FPP or farnesyl pyrophosphate magko-combine to form na yung squalene. Will now condense with the enzyme squalene synthase. Okay? So ang squalene is 30 carbon na yan or na ring. Ito, makikita nyo sa structure na ito, dire-diretso lang siya, pero in actually, papunta na siya or pa-form na siya nung carbon rings of the cholesterol. Hindi lang kita yung pinaka-proper structure nila, but here, mamaya makikita nyo, in stage number 4. So this is just the summary. So DPP, IPP to form geranyl GPP, 10 carbon, and then another IPP, 5 carbon to form farnesyl, so 15, and then 15 plus 15, squalene. Okay? Here, ito. In stage number 4, the first part is squalene. Makita yung structure niya, direct hydrocarbons lang siya, pero nagpo-form na siya ng paring, hindi pa lang close. Okay? Now, in this stage, the most important enzyme only is the squalene epoxidase, which is the reduction of squalene to squalene 2,3 epoxide. And then makita yung marami ng arrows, meaning there's a subsequent reactions that will form in order to close the rings to form cholesterol, which is composed of 19 steps, and then magiging 27 na lang yung carbons ng ng final product, which is cholesterol. So we have 4 rings, which is A, B, C, D here. So this is the basic structure of cholesterol. Ayan na rin yung numbering nila ng carbons. Sa A, nandun yung 1 to 5, and then 6 to 10, nandun yung B, and then 11 to 14 yung C, then 15 to 17 yung D. The rest na yung mga side chain, 18 and 19, and then hydrocarbon tail, yung natitirang mga carbon numbers. So the steroid nucleus of cholesterol is composed of 19 carbons, and then 8 carbons sa tail. So yung dami ng acetyl coenzyme A na ginamit yan is 18 acetyl coenzyme A to produce that. So here, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina for in the form ng plasma. Diba may mga from cholesterol, this is the esterified cholesterol. When fatty acids or of the fatty acid with a plus coenzyme A will now be esterified to cholesterol, magiging yung hydroxyl group o yung carbon number 3 will now have fatty acids. Yung nakita nyo dyan na RC double bond O. So, ito yung tinatawag na cholesterol esters that will be combined with lipoproteins and be stored in tissues. Okay? So, the enzyme ito is an important enzyme is the acyl coenzyme cholesterol acyl transferase or the ACAT. So that's it for the biosynthesis. Yung pinakamahirap na part ngayon. Now that the cholesterol is formed, it will now produce different other products. So degradation of cholesterol can form bile salts. So here bile salts na tayo, convert 50% conversion to bile salts via cholate and glycocholate. It will be secreted in the bile and eliminated by the intestine. Pero konti lang yung eliminate talaga sa intestine kasi majority will be absorbed back by enterohepatic circulation. So neutral sterols like coprastanol and cholestanol are being produced from the bacteria in the large intestine. Yun yung way nila para makapag-produce ng secondary bile salts. So here, napakita ko na sa inyo dito yung discuss tayo about vitamin C, right? And also the NADPH. So from cholesterol, the rate-limiting enzyme in bile acid synthesis that you should remember is cholesterol 7-alpha hydroxylase to produce 7-alpha hydroxyl cholesterol. So meaning lang yan, nagkaroon ng hydroxylation or OH dun sa carbon number 7 ng cholesterol. Di ba may mga numbers ng cholesterol doon? So, and then another hydroxylation via enzyme 12-alpha hydroxylase to form cholyl coenzyme A and quinodeoxycholyl coenzyme A. So this all happens in the liver. Kaya napaka-importante ng liver and kidney sa atin. Kaya huwag nyo abusuhin. Anyway, so in the liver, it will form the primary bile salts or bile acids, the tauro and glycoquinodeoxycholic acid or the tauro and glycocholic acid. And that primary bile salts will be released by will be stored by the gallbladder and be released by the liver and also gallbladder if there is a fatty meal. So pag na-release nila dun sa sa second part of the small intestine, di ba? Sa anatomy. So doon mag-release ng bile. It will emulsify the fat and then so that fat will be absorbed. Pero ang mangyayari sa mismong bile, pag umabot na siya sa large intestine is ma-degrade siya via intestinal bacteria, via deconjugation and 7-alpha dehydroxylation to form deoxycholic acid and lactocolic acid. So secondary bile salts na sila kapag napunta na sila sa intestine at nag-react na yung bacteria sa kanila. So this is just the first step, cholesterol to 7-alpha hydroxycholesterol via 7-alpha hydroxylase. So we use here the NADPH that's coming from the fetus phosphate pathway, right? And we have vitamin C, which is important cofactor in this step. So ito lang diniscuss ko in detail, pero mauulit nyo ito makikita in bile acid synthesis. So suffice to say now na ang pinaproduce sa liver is the primary bile salts. Ayan. And the secondary bile salts will be produced in the gut. So here, so this is what I've told you, enterohepatic circulation, yung na-produce na secondary bile salts ng bacteria sa intestine is maaari reabsorbed din. Halos 90% ma-reabsorb din. So, ang talagang lalabas lang sa mag-eliminate lang is yung 1 to 2%, which is cholestyramine. Here, ito yung enterohepatic circulation. Production in the liver, ay pala, yung you should know sa physiology. So, baka piyawat ko na rin ha. This is the proof that bile acids are produced in the liver, ha? Not in the gallbladder. Gallbladder, doon lang nagko-concentrate yung bile at ini-store. Pero ang nagpo-produce pa rin ng bile acid is the liver. Okay, kaya pag nag-cholecystectomy, tinanggal ng gallbladder dahil sa stones, makakapag-produce pa rin ang katawan natin ng bile acids. Hindi lang concentrated kasi wala na yung gallbladder. Okay? Kasi usually nandiyan nagkakamali yung mga medical students sa physiology. Pag tinatanong kung saan nagpo-produce ng bile, yes, ang sagot lagi gallbladder. Hindi yun sa liver. Anyway, for us, halos, ayan, dito 5% pa sa image na to yung nasisecrete ng body sa intestines. Pero majority talaga, it will just be reabsorbed to produce new bile. Okay? Via portal vein. Now, yung principle ng gallstones or cholelithiasis, chole means gallbladder, lithiasis means stone. So, yung principle lang yan here is bukod sa genetics, eto yon yung composition kasi dapat ng bile should be inside this ABC na to, yung the micellar liquid. If any of the composition is disrupted, kunyari, factored pa rin yung mga genetics. Kunyari, mas mataas yung cholesterol ng pasyente, mas konti lang yung phosphatidylcholine niya, and also the bile salts, lalabas doon sa range ng ABC, the micellar liquid, doon na nagpo-form ng sludges and then will eventually form stones. So, basta pasok yung component niya, like here, the normal bile composition is 5% cholesterol, 15% phospholipids, and 80% bile salts. As long as it's in the range, it will still be liquid. It will not form stones. But disruption in that composition will eventually lead to gallstones. Now, more factor is genetics and yung diet of the patient. So that's for the bile. The other is the two pathways, vitamin D and steroids. So here for vitamin D, so in the skin, 7-dehydrocholesterol will be stimulated by the UV light of the sun to form pre-vitamin D. Now, the pre-vitamin D will isomerize to form vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, and then it will be stored in the liver and kidneys for hydroxylation to form 1,25-dihydroxycholecalciferol. Okay, I think you will discuss this more on vitamins. Pero suffice to say now that it is also a precursor for vitamin D synthesis na cholesterol. Kaya nga, hindi necessary pag sinabing cholesterol, bad na agad siya. Kasi marami rin siyang mga function sa body. Also here, steroid hormone biosynthesis. From cholesterol, it will become pregnenolone and then eventually to progesterone. And that progesterone will be converted in different steroid hormones like glucocorticoids, mineralocorticoids, and androgens. Diba? You can see this especially in the adrenal glands sa physiology. Diba yung adrenal glands, yung adrenal cortex has 3 different layers na zona, anong nga ba yung mga yun? Fasciculata, reticularis, saka glomerulosa. Yun. Matututunan nyo yan sa, di ba natutunan nyo na sa physiology nyo, pero yan yung mga pinoproduce nila. Kasi iba-ibang mga enzymes yun nandyan. For example here, from cholesterol, it will produce pregnenolone. As you can see in the structure, cholesterol, mawawala yung tail end niya, yung hydrocarbon tail end niya, magiging ketone, C double bond O, and then methyl group. That is pregnenolone. And then it can lead to different pathways depending kung nasaan siya. Diba sa adrenal cortex, pag nasa glomerulosa, mag-form ng mineralocorticoid, aldosterone. And if it's in the fasciculata, glucocorticoids, the cortisol. While in the reticularis, yung dehydroisoandrosterone, androsterone. Pero yung testosterone estradiol, mas more mapoproduce na yan kapag nasa gonadal organs na. So, tingnan lang natin structure nila biochemically, since mas more on biochem tayo than physiology. Pregnenolone to become progesterone. So, anong nangyari? From pregnenolone, the hydroxyl group in carbon number 3 becomes double bond O. So, it becomes oxidized. So, oxidized form yung progesterone ng pregnenolone. And as you can see here, di lang talaga tawag dito, babae, lalaki, babae ang may mga progesterone. Dadaan din talaga ang pathway sa progesterone. So kahit male, meron din certain amount ng progesterone. Kasi nga, nalaman lang natin, lalo sa mga social media, testosterone sa lalaki, estradiol sa babae. Pero may certain amount talaga lahat tayo ng combination ng mga hormones na yun. Kaya na iba-iba yung mga reactions natin. Next is progesterone. So, punta mo tayo sa pathway na mineralocorticoid or aldosterone in the zona glomerulosa. So, from the progesterone, it will become 11-deoxycorticosterone. What happens in the structure here? It will just be hydroxylated. Yung methyl group niya sa taas, sa tail part, will have an OH group or hydroxyl group. And then, it will now become corticosterone, will be another hydroxylation in the ring number, letter C. Diba? Nagkaroon ng OH dun sa ring number C. And then eventually, in the last part to become aldosterone, anong nangyari dito sa ano? Na-dehydroxylate siya, nawala na yung hydroxyl group sa ring number C, letter C pala, and then napunta na yung hydroxyl group na oxidize ulit dun sa in-between ring number C and D. So that's aldosterone. Now, in the zona fasciculata, for the production of corticosteroid, glucocorticoids, yung progesterone, instead na ma-hydroxylate sa sa tail end, magkakaroon siya ng hydroxylation in the in the 17 carbon. So magkakaroon ng, that's why it's gonna be 7-hydroxyprogesterone. Okay? And then it will be further hydroxylated in the ring letter C to produce cortisol. And then the last part is the production of steroid hormones. In the adrenal cortex, until dito lang sa dehydroisoandrosterone, aldosterone, DHEA yung production sa zona reticularis. Okay, what happens here is mariremove yung methyl group ng 7-hydroxy pregnenolone to form dehydroisoandrosterone. Okay? Hanggang dyan lang siya sa zona reticularis ng adrenal gland. But in gonadal organs, it will further be it will further be hydroxylated. Like for example, sa testis, magpo-form ng testosterone, and also in the ovaries, magpo-form ng estradiol. As you can see, estrogen or estradiol magka-come from testosterone siya, which is an androgen. Kaya certain amount of hormones talaga, meron din lahat ng both male and female. Mas predominant lang yung isa on the other. Okay? So that's it. We've already discussed the different pathways or fates of the cholesterol, the synthesis, and its degradation. Ito may summary pa pala. So summary, from acetyl coenzyme A, it will form isopentyl pyrophosphate, yung IPP, that will eventually form squalene and then cholesterol. And that cholesterol will be used to synthesize vitamin D, cholesterol ester, bile salts, testosterone and estrogen or hormones. Yung IPP can also be used in other metabolic pathway or that intermediate during that synthesis of cholesterol. Okay? With that said, thank you. Do you have any questions? Any questions ba? I already, ito pala si Dr. Sadol. And I already sent the copy of the PDF. So check nyo lang doon sa Google Classroom. Ha? There are no other questions. Thank you for listening. So para makapahinga na kayo sa may next lecture pa kayo kay Doc Reportoso. Thank you.
Thank you po, Doc.
Thank you.
Thank you po.